Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Faye Answered Questions, podcast where the Faye family tries to answer questions about life. Joining us this week, we have, of course, as always, my mom and dad.
Hello.
And this week, we also have my brother, Ben.
What's going on, people?
Well, Ben, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, so I am the oldest of the Fae children. I am the best looking of the Fae children.
Lies.
And I am the most talented of all the Fae children.
Oh, biggest lie of all.
So you guys are in for a super good treat today. I'm also the funniest out of all of us, so I know these past couple episodes might have been a little dry, but buckle up because here we go.
He is also the biggest ego, the biggest head on his shoulders. He can never close his lunchbox to fit his legendary self in it.
I just need a bigger lunchbox.
Or I need a bigger needle to deflate your balloon.
Nah, leave my balloon alone.
All right. So this week, since we have the funny man himself on the podcast, we figured we'd.
I'm here every week.
Well, let's get into a funny question here. So, Mom and Dad, what's the dumbest thing that you've ever caught us doing growing up? And then secondary, how does that compare to the dumbest thing that you were caught doing when you grew up?
That seems like a loaded question that could go down the wrong direction very fast.
Josh, the dumbest thing you ever did was try to do electrics in the house we were remodeling in Idaho. I mean, all of a sudden we have a brownout and we go and find you sitting on your bed like in shell shock because you stuck these wires in the outlet. Thank God it was insulated.
Somebody else also had a brownout while that happened too. That would be the man that stuck the wires in the socket.
Oh my goodness.
Said, what did you do that for? You said, I was just trying to be like Dad. I'm like, thought you were smarter than that, oh my goodness, it was bad.
I think the real reason is because I wanted to see what would happen, because you guys were like, don't do it. Something bad will happen. And I thought, oh, how bad could it be? I had to know.
And henceforth...
Actually not so bad. It did teach you a lesson in life, and it gave you a really unique mutant gift there.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got superpowers after that. You definitely screwed up your entire electromagnetic field around yourself, and now for some reason can rub your entire face on electrified fences and not feel a thing, and then convince your sister to be like, come here, hold my hand. And then she'll just go, okay, and grab it and then get shazammed into like next week because she had a metal necklace on.
Yeah, he's the front line, He and people's, who cares?
I mean, because of that, we could set you in the front seat of the car when the radio wasn't working, and it would come in clear. But if you were in the back,
it's not the only one with that gift.
It would.
My fat ass head also brings in radio signal as well. So
unfortunately, that's the only thing it's good for.
All right.
Yeah. Wait, bam.
All right. This is
the dumbest thing we ever caught you doing as a kid.
Come on. I guess
dumbest.
I mean, I've done a lot of dumb things.
You have.
I think one of the dumbest things was that. No, we don't talk about that. Expunge that from the record. That never happened.
Don't worry, I got you all edited out.
Thank you, sir. No, one of the dumbest things that I think we ever got caught doing is, we were growing up and Squash and I used to share. Have we covered why we call you Squash?
No, not at all. I haven't even brought it up yet.
Oh, okay, well, we can get to that in a second. So Squash and I used to share a room all the time, but even when we didn't, we were still in each other's rooms all the time, so we were always very loud. And I don't remember how the phrase got started. I don't know if we were watching a TV or something, but we decided that it was a good idea at one point to just walk around the house yelling "billiards" in the most retarded British accent we could, and then we decided that after that we would just sit across from each other and headbutt a soccer ball back and forth. And literally every time one of us would headbutt it, we would headbutt it and scream billiards at the same time.
What?
Billiards. And we would scream billiards at the same time as hitting headbutting the soccer ball, and that went on for literal hours and probably resulted in multiple killed brain cells that never even had a chance of seeing the light of day.
Okay, not the dumbest thing that you were caught doing.
I mean, the other dumb thing that we got caught doing was we used to play nutball in the hallways. That one was pretty dumb.
Yeah, no, not the dumbest thing I've caught you doing.
Some of the dumbest things you guys have done. For some reason, you guys were intent on putting somebody else's butt through a window, through a wall.
Oh,
I don't
true.
know
There was a
how
lot of
many
butts through
windows
walls and
we had to
windows.
replace.
There was a lot of shoving.
We replaced so many glass windows because you guys were like throwing shoes through them, throwing each other's butts through them. We left you alone when we lived in North Carolina, and you put your sister's butt through the wall, and then
Look, she tried to get on me like a spider monkey, and I wasn't having any of it.
And then tried to hide the hole with a decorative vase thing that I hadn't put there. Like, I wouldn't know it wasn't there. I'm a little particular about
it. Was a design choice. I thought it looked good at the end of the hallway. I thought you would appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. Still not the dumbest thing you've done.
What's the dumbest thing I've done then?
Come on, we had the brownout with the wires in the outlet from your brother. One word. No, well, it's one word, but we'll make it, could go either way for two.
How
Belt
old was I?
sander.
Oh, true.
Oh, no. Oh, my
I still
God.
bear the scar.
Yes, ladies
I
and
s-
gentlemen, the reaction on both faces.
Oh, I remember that. That sucked hard. I thought I was about to lose my scrotum. And looking at the scar now, I was nowhere near my scrotum. But
You about became a eunuch.
but I thought I was gonna rip my entire sack right off my body.
All right, for the listeners, let's get a little bit of context in here for the belt sander.
Okay, so we were living in Idaho, and we were renovating a house, and we were done for the day, and we were doing cleanup. Yes, we were. It was at night. I remember. It was dusk time.
No, you were.
It was dusk. He was right.
It was
No,
dusk.
you were fixing to go help somebody clean their house or something. You were about ready to leave for that.
But it was dusk. He's got the story right so far.
Anywho, I picked up a belt sander that was still plugged in, for some reason it was an OSHA violation, but we don't talk about those. And as I was picking it up, I drew it near to the inner thigh of my left leg, and upon happenstance, depressed the trigger on said belt sander and cut it on. And when it cut on, it immediately sucked my shorts into the belt sander, and then the belt sander decided to run up my shorts onto my leg and give me a lovely little raspberry on the soft, tender flesh of my inner thigh. And it did not feel very good at all, and I freaked out because I thought that thing was just going to continue up the tender meat of my inner thigh right to my prized sack of jewels and rip them from my body. I was terrified. I think I yeeted that thing into about the next dimension.
To set
The funniest
context there, you did that right as a family that we knew up there was pulling up, and you were sweet on the daughter, and that's when you squeezed the trigger. So let's
Classic.
get all of that right.
I didn't remember that part happening. I do remember raspberrying myself, and now
the thing that I remember is
embarrassed the hell out of myself.
mom of that girl came right up to the door right at the time where we were trying to get the belt sander off of you, and so you were like swim trunks down around the ankles in your tidy whities, big like blood pouring down. You know, your inner thigh, just standing there half naked, like.
It was on the front
I
porch, and we
I
lived
hate
on Main Street.
I hate all. You see, I wouldn't care
Two
about
rows.
those random people because I didn't have to see them again. I had to see this chick at church probably the next day. Yeah, that okay. So that key unlocked a whole door full of memories that I had repressed about that whole incident. Thank you for
Ed,
that.
you're
That's
welcome.
amazing. Super
You're
great.
welcome.
Super great. Yeah, I do remember blood running down my leg and my embarrassing.
Mm.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad I could bring that back to you.
No, I resent you for this.
Okay, what was the second part of your question, Josh?
How does the dumb shit that we got caught doing, like sticking wires in an electrical socket and flaying the skin off of our thighs with belt sanders, how does that compare to the stuff that your parents caught you doing
They
growing
never
up?
caught me doing anything. I was too good to get caught. I did a lot of shit, but they didn't catch me. I was pretty much a wild child. We moved to the farm, and I pretty much ran and did whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah, I wish we could have done that.
Yeah, that would have been
That's why
fun.
you didn't, because I know what I did.
All
All right. Well,
high
well
school would have
then.
been so much more fun.
All right. Well then, Mom, what's one of the dumbest things that you never got caught doing?
No, I can't tell you that because, no, I can't tell you that.
All right, I said one of.
I was gonna make a joke, but I don't think I'm gonna make that joke about my mother.
No, don't. My best friend, we were best friends from the time we were 5, and we would do all kinds of stuff together. And he was our senior year. He was working at the little gas station down the road. So of course he didn't get off till like 10 or something. And apparently I had a curfew, but we didn't worry about that much. But I would tell my mother, your Nana, that, oh, hey, I'm going out with my friend. We're going to go and watch a movie. We're going to go and do this. It's a midnight movie. It's the only time we get to see each other because we're both working in school and, played the guilt card. And half the time I was out with girlfriends or running around, and we lived in a college town. So, yeah, we weren't necessarily at the movies or anything like that. But, it was just like, hey, we went and saw this, and we rarely went to the movies. We would watch all the shorts. We could recite the shorts to the movies and get away with it. We'd go to the pool halls and play pool. We would just drive around. We'd get in about 2:30 in the morning, maybe 3. Have a couple drinks. But yeah, they never figured that part out.
Right.
It was tame compared to what your father didn't get caught doing.
Yeah, I was about to ask, Dad. I know you've got some stories about what you did.
I grew up on a property outside of a rather large city. From what I can remember, up until 12 years of age, I lived in the city, and my father was very well known in the city. And my brother and I would do stuff, and we'd get caught by the cops and told to go home, or they were going to tell our dad. So we'd go
You
home.
said, "Do it, bitch."
No, we'd go home to the car and then tell him our dad. But we would, like, on the Australia Day, January 26th, which is like 4th of July, back in the day when we could have fireworks in Australia. We would get these fireworks that you could throw. They call them throwdowns. I don't know what they call them over here. But
Wait,
you
like
could throw
the little tiny ones that are like the poppers up here, or they were bigger?
They were a little bigger, and they had a bullseye on them. And if you threw them down on the bullseye, they would blow up. And a sizable bang.
Well, that sounds
And
quite a bit bigger.
yeah, my brother and I would hide on the front porch of our house, and as cars would drive by, we would stand up and throw them at the cars, and we hit a work van, like a appliance repair van, on the side of the van with 4 of them at one time. I was throwing 2, he was throwing 2, and so that thing just went boom, 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 boom. Of course, the van screeched to a halt, and we were like,
and we dove down under the our front porch had a cutout that you could take out, go under the porch, and pull the cutout back down, kind of like a crawl space. So we did that, and the guy got out of the van, of course, looking for what the hell was happening. Things I did when I was younger. I mean, and we got caught. We didn't care. We got caught doing this stuff. Is we had a little 1978 Honda CT 110 motorcycle. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's an antique worth a fortune right now. But we would. My mother decided it was a good idea to have goats on the farm we grew up with at one point in time, and they would always get out. So my brother would drive that motorcycle at like 60 miles an hour across open fields. And as he pulled up beside the goat, I'd bulldog that goat off the motorcycle.
Jesus Christ.
Just fall on it and roll it over and go again. We discovered Dad's supply of dynamite one time and took it and threw 2 sticks together in one rabbit warren and a stick down the other side of the rabbit warren and lit them and blew the shit out of that rabbit warren and leveled like a quarter acre. Literally sunk a quarter of an acre. Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Why did Pop have dynamite?
Because,
get rid of the rabbits.
It's Australia. It was Australia.
The wascally wabbits.
There was stuff you could do back when we were growing up that today they're like, no.
They were hunting wabbits.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we did a whole bunch of stuff. I think the best thing I ever did that I got caught doing, that I got in a lot of trouble for, like a lot of trouble for, was my brother's 21st birthday, and they had strung a big Hessian sack area out, a Hessianed off area, burlap sack area where the men would go pee, because we lived on a property. So you just put up T-posts and a lot of burlap sacks around the place. So it was kind of private for men to go pee. And I decided it was a good idea to run an electric fence around the bottom of that area.
Nice.
Up where, we're running a bunch of voltage through to keep cattle in, and these guys were going out half drunk on his 21st birthday to go pee and peeing down onto an electric fence. Yeah.
Wait, but like, how does that work? Because they did that thing on Mythbusters where you got to be pretty dang close to the source of electricity for it to zap you.
It zaps. Let me tell you, you got enough power going through an electric fence.
It's hopping through droplets.
Oh yeah, look up on YouTube.
I've seen the ones where the dogs go and piss on a fence.
Yeah, no, look up on YouTube. Man pisses on Trump sign.
Oh, did somebody electrify a Trump sign?
Yeah, last election they electrified their Trump sign, and a guy went and urinated on it, and yeah, he was not a happy camper.
Crispy Wang.
Yeah.
Well, you know about it. You did that when we were.
Oh yeah, I do remember that one because that was traumatizing as a small child when I decided that it was a good idea. You were a wee baby, Squash.
Mm-hmm.
I decided that was a good idea that instead of going and crawling over the electric fence, where was it? Gemma?
Aunt Gemma was with you.
Yeah. Aunt Gemma had put the stick on. I was like, I am the big boy, and we'll climb over the highest point. And slipped and got Crispy Wang. Why is it everything happens to my Wang? Everything bad always happens to my Wang, man.
I do remember that incident clearly.
How? You were like 1.
No,
yes,
that
but
is one thing.
The child that was doing your homework when he was 2 and 3, and would get your math problems right, and you just went, "Well, it's the right answer, Mom. I don't know how he did. I had to keep him occupied while you guys did homework because he was doing your homework and he was still in diapers."
This should have continued forever. I never would have had to do math ever.
Yeah, but then we decided to play the headbutt game with the ball, and I lost some brain cells. So.
Oh, true.
Not really.
Oh, yeah, speaking of,
good try.
Reminded make him feel better.
But no. Reminded me when I said that you told the cops to do it, bitch. I was sophomore year of college, and I was working over at the Fresh Market in Overland Park, and that semester, I got some good memories for that semester because I was always drunk. Grades will reflect. Children, don't drink. Anyways, one particularly hard partying weekend, I partied very hard into the wee hours of the morning, and then looked at my watch and was like, "Ah, shit! I have to be at work in 2 hours." And being at work in 2 hours was like I think 6 or 7 in the morning. Going into the Fresh Market, and it was 4 a.m. and I was blitzed. We'll omit some details, but I arrived at work after sleeping for 2 hours, and the person that was running the deli department there had also run the deli department at the one back home, and was very suspicious of why I came into work that Saturday morning in a particularly good mood. And I looked her dead in her face and said, "I'm still drunk." And she said, "I'm going to tell your father." And I looked her dead in her eyes and said, "Do it." And she said, "What?" And I said, "You heard me. Do it." She was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't give a fuck." And I walked off and went and proceeded to have the best 2 hours of work and then subsequently the worst 6 hours of work right afterwards. That 30-minute car nap on lunch was amazing.
And to her credit, she did. And to my credit, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, this is true. I said do it, and then nothing happened, and I was like,
No, you weren't.
I mean, I was kind of like, I'm 4 hours away. What's he gonna do? Call me and bitch me out? Cool.
Yeah.
Could have got me fired, but I would just found another job. I didn't really like that job, but I didn't like driving 45 minutes to go to work anyway. It was a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm. It was far better to let you suffer sick. So, what about the kid at the college I work at with the note on the wall?
I think he's a fucking legend.
Okay, so give some content to our listeners.
Someone needs to. I can't access it right now. So if someone has access to it, they need to omit college and hall and all that sort of stuff and read the context.
Oh, got it. All right.
I got it. No, fuck you. I'm reading it.
Okay, fuck off. This is the last time you're invited to the podcast.
Good. So this is at a residence hall for smart people at a university that shall not be named. I should probably omit the name of the health center too.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. The University of somewhere, in compliance with the so-and-so health center, is requiring a mandatory.
Give the title of the paper.
Oh, in big bold letters at the top, it says mandatory penis inspection. Anyway, the University of somewhere, in compliance with the blank health center, is requiring a mandatory penis inspection to determine the cleanliness, health, and capabilities of all male students in accordance with the University Health Code 9.51. Licensed medical professionals will be arriving at this residence hall to conduct a survey of students' genitalia on Monday, October 12th, 2020. Students will be called down from 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. by room number, starting from the lower floors going up. That means two things. There will only be one makeup date on Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. If you are unable to attend either inspection date, contact your floor RA as soon as possible or call this number to set up your penis inspection appointment, PIA. Please note, anyone who is unavailable or is unwilling to comply with University Health Code 9.51 will be relocated to an off-campus residence or will be suspended for an indefinite amount of time. Students who are uncircumcised, all you turtlenecks out there, must meet with a doctor prior to the inspection date and request for a penis pass. This will alert medical inspectors beforehand and facilitate the inspection process. I encourage you to stay safe, agile, and strong. and this was signed.
Agile and strong, mind you.
This was signed by the illustrious Dr. Mike Litteris, Director of Men's Health. So this bright individual, well past the statute of limitations for April Fool's Day, has decided that it would be hilarious to look at all of his co-residents in this hall and go, "It's penis inspecting time, boys."
Wait, how do we know it was a male student that wrote this? This could have been a female student.
If this is a female student, she might just want to pull her pants down and check for a dick and balls, because this person has the most massive coconuts I have ever heard of on an individual in my life. Bro, the fact that you just wheelbarrowed your fat ass nuts into the elevator, hit the down button with a copy of this fucking manifesto, and duct tape that shit to the wall. Somebody get that man a scooter. Because he is wheeling them shits around all the time. Forget a wheelbarrow. Go to Walmart, steal the motorized scooter that the fat people use because they're too lazy to get their 10,000 steps in for the day, and have him put his scrotum in that basket and drive around campus, because that's the only way he's dragging that nutsack around.
Hang on, listen to the rest of it.
That was plastered in every bathroom on every male floor in that building. So there's 2 bathrooms per floor. So what's that? 8 or 10 bathrooms on that? 8, I think. 8. Right?
No, that building
4
had.
floors of males, 4 floors of females.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So I think it's 8 bathrooms that was plastered into. We had students calling their floor RA
No.
to check that. They called unnamed health center to make their pass.
Oh my God, no. I wanted to be on the other end of that phone call at the health center when some kid goes, excuse me, there's a posting in the bathroom that said there's a penis inspection on Monday. I've got a turtleneck. Is there any way that I could get a pass or a placard so I could let the inspector know what to expect? He's gonna have to pull this. He's gonna have to pull the shirt down.
Can you have Dr. Mike Litteris tap me out?
What were the emails that went over there? Attention to Dr. Mike Litteris. So in regards to the penis inspection on Monday, could I get an email that says
Quite frankly, nothing should happen to the student. It was a prank. It was a harmless joke. If people were stupid enough to believe it, then they're idiots in normal everyday life. They're just like have no common sense. It was funny, and this year is a dumpster fire of a year. You gotta have a laugh. I mean, no harm, no foul, move on.
And that
It's
was the
legendary.
whole point of it, was that the university is now looking at security cameras
Oh man.
on every floor and questioning students and such and so forth to see if they can figure out who actually pulled that prank. Because let's face it, as you guys can see on what I sent out, it is on university letterhead paper.
That's true. Whoever made that note did a fantastic job with copying
they did
exact format.
fine. Yeah, they did a fine job. So
but let's be fair. To get a hold of that university paper letterhead is not hard.
No, not at all. But
anyway, so the long and the story, and it is, should said student be punished for said prank, or should we just chalk it up to
legendary?
Yeah, legendary. Is it a Barney Stinson worthwhile prank?
Yes.
Absolutely, because the biggest prank that fucking the chancellor and board of trustees pulled on me when I went through that university was to increase tuition by 2%, and then give themselves a 2% raise in the same year.
The funniest
Yeah.
of pranks.
Mm-hmm.
That
The
that
one where your own pockets get lined.
that was
Can't hear you,
that was
Brooke.
hilarious. I'm still laughing about it to this day, paying it off.